Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to my channel. If this is the first time you've seen me, today I have multiple steps in this creation. I'm going to start out here on the lathe using some UV resin and some fast cure epoxy. And we will go over to the lathe to create the part that is going to be turned on the lathe. So I'll quickly kind of go through some of it. I purchased a couple of pieces like this just at a secondhand store. It was meant to hang something in like a candle or something. That it was all the fad there for a while. This one's got some kind of seam in it, but the one that I shaped I reshaped it and took the black coating off. That's the part I did in video, and I will show you something like it in the future on how I created the base. It's just that I didn't know what I was doing, and I just started playing, and the next thing you know, I was going, and I didn't have the video camera running. So next time I'll remember to push the buttons and make sure I'm recording. But yeah, let me show you the shape that and what this piece was bigger around, so I had a little more area to play with. So my design is kind of like a leaf shape, and I will, because she won't set by herself here very well, I will be attaching some ball bearings to the bottom of it so it will set evenly. So moving on, just wanted to give you an idea of what I'm getting ready to do here. So this will be the piece that I'll be turning on the lathe. The intentions will be to turn it and have it hang from here. And it looks like it's quite big, but you know, when you start turning, you lose a lot of stuff. So this was the pour that we did. Okay, so this piece, I didn't use the black paint underneath it, so I'm going to see how that's going to turn out. This is just a little piece that I'm kind of playing around with. And we're going to use, I just used the mica powders, not the chameleon powders, to play around with on this piece. So we're going to use the Let's Resin deep pour because I'm going to fill it to the top. I'm going to try to be super careful and not use too much of the alcohol ink. I'm using the sapphire blue today. I'm going to give it a good shake. But I may just use like a toothpick to help drip it in there. I just don't want it, I want it fairly transparent. Glue. I know that is not going to translate well. Let's see. Not super worried about the bubbles since I'm going to be putting it in the pressure pot. Okay, let's top it off. I was a little concerned because I thought I wasn't going to be able to use her. She was a little sticky on the top, and I'm like, oh no, what's going on? And I just about didn't demold her because I thought she had not set up right, or it had not set up right. But I decided to go ahead and demold her. It does seem okay, I believe, and we'll find out when I get it on the lathe and start turning it whether I have any issues with it. And it did drop down. I lost this much epoxy off the top of it. And I wish I would have showed demolding it to show you guys how much I had lost, but I just didn't think I was going to be able to use the piece by the way it felt on the very top. It was super sticky, and my guess is going to be humidity or something like that is just what caused the very top layer, because this isn't sticky at all. Super excited about that because I thought I'd done lost this piece. Anyway, moving them back on to what I'm doing here. This is my leaf shape. So my plan here is to draw my leaf shape with UV resin, and then of course cure it, and that will kind of be my mold for my fast set resin. All right, so let's see how well I do at tracing. See if I get some of that out there, because that is wide. Okay, let's put it on about 3 minutes to cure. So, here we are. This is the fast set resin from Let's Resin. You can demold in 4 hours, full cure in 8 to 10 hours, so I'll be able to move along. Is pretty chock full of little air bubbles. Let me see if I can break some of them by pouring it over the stick. Or not. Don't have those patience. Ooh, don't you go over the edge. And you are breaking out. Breaking out. Get it there. Got a bit much, so I gotta scoop some of it out. That is not gonna work. Let me try putting a bunch of it in there. Make it a little bit darker.
So what kind of resin is that? Is that the UV or?
This is the fast cure.
Well, for fast cure, seems like you got a lot of pot life.
I know it doesn't give you the pot life. How long your working time is.
Huh?
But kind of like any of it. Oh, good gravy.
That's right. That's just where one of them's going to have to go off to the side.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so it's hard. And I tried to draw some lines with just a little bit of extra of the epoxy with a little darker. Not real sure if I'm fond of it, but we'll see. May have to make the whole piece over again. Let me peel this up off of here. Set on my piece. And to get it to mold it down to it, I am going to cut it down some, but I'm going to put my heat gun on it. chip all these out. You quit. I had this just all I got to out. I had it. Okay, stuck it in the freezer just for a few minutes. Now what I didn't care for is that it kind of dipped that down a little bit in there. But at least I believe it's going to hold its form. So whenever I work on attaching the ball bearings so it'll stand up sturdy, I won't have this piece attached to it yet. Right. So I am going to move on to the turning portion of this, and then we'll finish up with attaching the ball bearings. Okay, let's see how this wood is starting to look. How much smaller do I need to go with you? Huh? I'm not into the blue yet. I don't know if I want to be in the blue. All these were little bitty bug holes, wormholes that the epoxy has filled in. Thank goodness deep pores will help with that. Gonna bring this down. So part of the reason I stopped and cleaned everything up was because once I start turning in here, I will be able to reclaim the epoxy ribbons and use them in a future project. This should make a cool vase, huh? But that is not what shape I'm going for. Have to decide if that is thin enough to get that down to that point. And I think I'm getting kind of you see that movement right in there? Yeah, I can't do too much more before I start sanding. And then whenever I flip it around, hopefully I don't lose it before then. I can finish off that taper and then resand the tip. We'll see. We shall see. I might try to do some shear scraping. I haven't decided. Did the shear scraping out here? I just don't know. We'll see how that's going to work with that epoxy. And I've heated it up by using my tool so much, so I'm going to give it a little bit of a rest, and I'll do some shear scraping, and then I'll come back, let it rest for a little bit, see if I can get it firmed up before I start sanding. How much more? I just don't want to take it down too far yet. Don't want to do it. Don't want to screw it up. Okay, I am going to put some sanding sealer just on the wood. Trying to stay away from the epoxy. Alright, we are going to go on with some microfine and get the other sanding paste. Oh, I got plenty. Plenty there. See what we think. Okay, so next stop is bringing this down and hopefully not losing her. Okay, well, here goes nothing, and hoping I don't sling it off the lathe. Alright, so what happened there is I let it get too warm, and I should have seen that happening there. But I will try to flatten that off a little bit, put it in the chuck this way, and we'll see if we can do something with it. Oh, at least it didn't go flying, it just clunk. Yeah, I should have just given it a little bit of time to cool off. Now, that looks good, and that looks good, but does in the middle look good? Who knows? But before I move you off of here, I am going to remark your center, because I do want to drill a hole. I do. Well, okay, that was quite the ordeal, but we did make it off the lathe and got it to somewhat of a point. But where the donut chuck was, and I couldn't get in there deep enough to really do the right kind of sanding and polishing that I needed to do. Instead of going back with the microfine, I am going to use some Novus fine scratch remover. Just going to squirt some of that on there, rub it in. So we're going to go to the workbench and we'll see if we can get this project finished. Going to work on the base and figure out where I want to place the ball bearings. Alright, so I'm going to go with the clear hard type. You know, the problem is anyway I go about attaching this to the metal, I tried just a little bit of CA glue on two other pieces of metal, and I think that's still going to pull away from the metal. So I am going to try to be careful and just put a line, and I may get a brush or something, I don't know. Maybe I'll get one of my silicone tips to just put around here. Trying not to get so there you can see where I got some on this. Trying to picture that, see if I can get it wiped up. For a long period of time. I had black gloves, I could do it for a while, but that UV will. I do. Okay, let's see about putting the ball bearings on the bottom of it. I'm going to use some JB Weld. Just mix a little bit of it, and the reason I'm using JB Weld other than other 5-minute epoxy is I don't think I need a whole lot here, because it is a little stronger. Just using equal amounts. It looks like I have a little more white than I do black, so we'll add just a smidge more black. Just a smidge. I got way more than I need. Of course, we just mix it until it becomes a consistent color. And JB Weld is not like a 5-minute epoxy. It takes quite a while for it to set up. So I'll let it set overnight. Mix well, like it is. So, I think I did it too thick. I'll put it on like this, because I want to go on my leaf. So I've got quite a bit mixed up here. Actually, kind of put it to where it comes out the leaf together. Here we are, off the lathe. Well, off the workbench. Anyway, I got the ball bearings on the bottom of it. They're stuck on there nice and hard. Not worried about them coming off. Yeah, so let's talk about her. The leaf, that was an interesting part of the project. I was curious if I could do that with the UV resin and the fast cure resin to pour that and then be able to shape it afterwards. I think I could have done it even thicker. You know, just a technique I've never tried before, so it is, you know, something that I may give another go at. I did get it a little bit smudged up and everything with handling when I glued it back on. When I glued it onto the base with the UV resin. My gloves, I didn't realize had some actual UV resin on it, and I was so worried about making sure it attached down to the base that I didn't notice, and then I cured it, and I kind of, anyway, so I might be able to get that cleaned up. If I can't, maybe I'll make another one for it, but I don't have time today. Yeah, want to get this video edited and out to you guys. Let's talk about all the drama on the lathe. Of course, there's got to be some kind of drama. What do you guys think of the Raindrop? and the fact that she didn't want to stay on the lathe. I mean, that was all on me. I worked it too long without letting it cool back off. Whenever you're turning epoxies and stuff like that, sometimes your tools get really warm, and then sometimes the epoxies get really warm. And as you can see, you can bend them. So that's basically what I did, is I just kept on it, and I should have stepped back and not pushed it. I should have waited and let it cool off, and I probably would have been able to get it off the lathe easier. The donut chuck was a little bit of a challenge. It didn't work too awful bad, but because I had to go in so far on it, you know, that hot mess, and I didn't have a center point when it came off the lathe like that. I was going to have a struggle having a center point whenever I went to part it anyway, but when you have a jagged edge, it's hard to make sure that that is, you can find your center point. Anyway, just some things that I still have to work on. Yeah, so I think the epoxy worked really well. Very translucent, and just that hint of blue. And up here, it's really actually pretty clear. It's just that you're getting all the reflection from this blue and this white down in here. You know, I don't know. What do you guys think about it? I think that part turned out pretty cool. I already have a screw in it. I want to say thank you to everyone that's taken the time to watch my video. I also wanted to let you guys know that the deep pour resin, the fast cure resin, the UV resin, the light, any of the products that I use from Let's Resin in this video and from my previous videos, but in this particular video I'm going to link straight to the product. You guys pop on down there to the description below and I'll have those links if you're interested. Alright, let's get back to the turning. You guys let me know what you guys think about this week's video. You know, it wasn't as much turning. I had a lot of off the lathe stuff. So how do you feel about that? Let me know. You know, I'd been thinking about doing other stuff. I'll probably still incorporate turning in it because I love turning. But I also like to pull out other artistic sides and try different things, you know. Anyway, so let me know. Leave that comment. Also, it'll help enter you into the next giveaway whenever I have it. Subscribe to my channel. That way we can start building more, and share it so I get more viewers. And give me the thumbs up if you liked it. I want to say thank you. It means the world to me that you guys stopped by and stayed till the end. And you guys have a great day. And we're going to see you on the flip side. Oh, we're going to throw her in the picture box. I'm sure it'll look better in the picture box.